myself too much. Tell me, do you think I'm a joke? Is there something I'm missing? Or am I afraid I'm just a smoke? Where is it that I fit in? Well, it is what I really want. Maybe I'm just trying to do mine. Comparison I have.
Hi, I'm Max Stevens. I play guitar and sing in Fuzz Mutt.
Hey, I'm Sean. I play bass in Fuzz Mutt.
I'm Jared, and I'm the drummer in Fuzz Mutt.
Hey, you, maybe that's not something that I can't do.
I want you guys as close as humanly
Can
possible.
our arms be like
Here, hold that one. Wait, put your arm like through mine.
Hi, we're Fuzz Mutt, and you're watching Band in Seattle.
This group of scruffy punks from Everett has talent and DIY hustle beyond their years. You're gonna love Fuzz Mutt.
Mastermind. That song has definitely a soft spot in my heart. It was one of the first songs actually the first song we recorded, one of the first songs we wrote, and just reminds me about being a time when I was 16 years old, and it was like our first step in Fuzz Mutt, the first song that we were like, hey, we could actually be a band.
It's just, I always have really liked that song. I think that's one of our best written songs.
It kind of captures the essence of getting a hold on your life and making sure you're on top of it rather than lagging behind, or else no one told you when to run.
Went to the same high school, and we were all in the music program and stuff together. It wasn't until I was probably 15 that me and Jared we started our first band we were called The Domestics.
Eventually, I think that went on for quite a while, just gigging around Everett. Just kind of got tired of it, and then we weren't playing together for a while, and then got together in the jazz band, and then that's when the three of us started playing together.
And we knew Sean was a really good bass player, and so we asked him to come play with us. And then we didn't have any songs or a name or anything, and Sean booked us a show at this local little pub in Arlington. So we were like, okay, well, I guess we're a band.
I'm, somewhat close with the bookers at our local venue, the Mirkwood, and so I messaged him saying, hey, book us, before we even had a band name, any songs. And so he's like, yeah, you guys are gonna play November something, and we're like, heck yeah, let's make a set, do a couple covers, and just be a band.
And I know that you're tired. I guess I am too. So I'll sleep in your bed, baby. It's nothing new. I can't even begin.
We sat around and we were like, hey, what are we gonna call ourselves? We need to give them a name.
We should have spent a little more time on our name, truthfully, but we committed it and we're stuck, so hey, Fuzz Mutt, yeah.
We like fuzz pedals. I think that's probably the main inspiration, but I don't know, it sounded cool. When we were coming up with names, I personally didn't want anything that was the something. Somebody said Fuzz Mutt, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. It sort of rolls off the tongue, it's catchy, and so that's how we came up with it. I'm more of a cat person personally, but it sounds cool.
After the break, you'll find out a whole lot more about Fuzz Mutt.
Yeah, we call him Jar, or Jar Jar. He fits the role.
I am really sorry for the words I haven't said yet, 'cause I know that when I say it.
My personal relationship to the audience is, I don't know, I want them to enjoy it. I like being an audience member myself, and I like watching music, and so I think that sort of, I don't know, there's a connection there. When the audience is having fun, we have more fun, and when we look out and see our friends and people enjoying it, I think we feed off that, and it makes playing more fun.
Max is he's great to work with. Yeah, he's really come a long way in his skills in mixing, and he's a good songwriter, good player.
Yeah, he's kind of the mastermind of the Fuzz Mutt thing. Since we're a three-piece, it's pretty easy to be boring, so that's why we try to, keep it a little bit technical to the point where we're not getting bored, but also, we try to have fun. Jamming is definitely a big part of it, is the feeling more than the execution.
If you're able, like the golden on the sunny day, and you give me outer space. And I am not a poet, and I'm certainly not an artist. Wasting time is all I do, 'cause that's the way to go to you.
3 a.m. is our probably most catchy song. Everyone always seems to like that one and ask us to play it a lot. 3 a.m. is the only song that I have a guitar solo in that I take seriously, But then I feel weird also because I'm like, okay, we're like a punk rock band, and here I am playing a guitar solo, and so it feels a little weird. Sean is a really good bass player, and he has an incredible ear. And it'll be funny because we'll be working on new music, and we'll be like, okay, we're gonna play this at practice, so take a listen to it. And we'll be at next practice, and we'll be like, okay, are you guys want to work on the new song? Have you guys listened to it? What do you guys think? And Sean will be like, oh, I didn't listen to it.
I put it off. It's kind of weird to say, but I listen to it, I get it in my head, get the seed planted, but then I just put it off until it naturally comes, because if I try to force a part, which I have in the past, it's not what I usually like it to be, where when it's comes naturally, I always feel like it gets better results.
Yeah, he always comes up with the coolest bass lines, and every time he comes up with something, I'm like, oh, dude, that's perfect.
Super easy to work with. Smart musicians, too, yeah. I believe he started with brass instruments, but he definitely is well-rounded. He can play a lot of different stuff.
But my 8th grade teacher asked if anyone either played or owned a bass guitar, and I owned one at the time, didn't really play it, so spent a weekend trying to learn it, and since then, learned how to read bass clef, learn my scales, my charts, and all that.
Where is it that I fit in? Well, it is what I really want. Maybe I'm just trying to do mine. Comparison I just want to create something that feels new, that screams at me and screams right back. Hey, maybe that's not something that I can do.
Life in a Jar, that song, originally Life in a Jar was just called Jar Song, because came up with it and I was like, oh, this is perfect. There's these sort of break sections that Jared could do some drum soloing in. And so didn't have a name for it, and so it was just known as Jar Song.
Yeah, we call him Jar, or Jar Jar. He fits the role, but that's the song we wrote that he has a couple, tasty fills in.
But that's a fun song to play, definitely. Max may have chose that also as a song title because there is a bit more of a kind of sporadic drum part and also a lot of solo breaks. Just a kind of hectic, sort of feel like I kind of relate to that. My mind is a bit hectic.
Jared is probably one of the easiest people to work with, super low-key and laid back, and me and Jared are, two peas in a pod.
I think I posted on Twitter or something. I was like, does anybody know any drummers that want to play loud, fast music? And he responded, and because we went to the same high school, but we weren't really friends, and so he messaged me and was like, hey, I like loud, fast music too.
When we return, uncover more about Fuzz Mutt.
Came from probably listening to Fauna Shade.
Lungs was our opener track on our second EP, which is, we were very unprepared for that. Lungs was probably the only song we were, which is why it's the only one from that record that we still play.
Lungs started with this sort of heavy kind of riff, and it's funny actually because not too long ago I listened to the first demo that I sent to the guys of Lungs. The riff was like way slowed down. I was like, wow, we've sped it up as we've played it more. When I first started playing in a band and stuff, Everett was close to where we were. There was like, okay, there's some venues in Everett and some bands and stuff, and as we got playing more, we were sort of like, oh wow, you know, there's actually something about Everett that's really cool. This band started progressing and getting places, and we started becoming part of the Everett scene. It sort of dawned on me personally how tight-knit the Everett scene is, and it's like one of the most loyal scenes. It can be discouraging when, you know, you play and there's like, okay, you know, 5 people at the bar, and or you know, you play in Everett and it's like, okay, here's 30 people that we're friends with and that we love to see and hang out with. Like what I was saying earlier, you know, that feeding off of the mood and vibe of the audience, it translates back onto what happens on stage.
KEXP. That's what I said when we started. I want to be on KEXP like all the other greats in our generation. And I feel like that's kind of a first step into being a recognized band, is getting stuff like those little things that all the other bands have done.
I would like to, just have a modest life. I enjoy playing music, and it'd be cool to see this band do well, because I think Max and Sean are both really good musicians, and I don't know, it's hard to say. I've been kind of taking it as it comes, I would say. I feel like I'm in a point where I'm trying to improve myself in the now more so than, I don't have a greatly established plan yet.
What's Wrong? Yeah, that song, it's another kind of one of our more straightforward kind of punk rock songs. At the end, there's sort of a spacey kind of slow part that came from probably listening to Fauna Shade. And so tack that onto the end of the song, and it went from this, goes from this like fast punk rock song to this slow kind of spaced out kind of psychedelic thing. It sort of sometimes feels like if I don't put everything I have into playing music, then I'm not serious enough about it. And how can I expect other people to take the music and things I make seriously? How do I find to put all my energy into music, but still, you know, survive? It's not an easy thing, and I think all artists probably feel the same way. Sure, I could go and get a career, but would I be as happy as if I just did this?
To uncover more of the music that moved you tonight, go to bandinseattle.com, where you can find out more about Fuzz Mutt and watch their full concert.